to welcome to the webinar. I'm very excited to have you here. Thank you for being here for all the attendees. We have quite a few attendees here already. And welcome friends, welcome Priyanka, welcome Pari, Aruna, Shobita, welcome Yuji, Anthony, Miko, Peter, Priya, quite a few people already. Lovely. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy that you all are here, and I will um, start in a bit as soon as I have some more people. And Masaru-san, it's been a lovely journey already, through AEN and how
Mhm.
Asian Ecotourism Network is doing some great job in empowering people to look at community tourism, responsibility, and everything that we want to do for uh, the newly coined term is people, planet, and profit. Yes, absolutely in line with what we're thinking and what we've been doing so far. So, friends, Mr. Masaru Takayama is here with us, and shortly I'll be introducing him to you. And we're still waiting for some more people to join in. Um, welcome, Christopher. And if you can hear me clearly, can you just type yes in the chat so I know that I'm audible properly? Be nice to hear from you. How are you doing, Pari? Good. So there are people who are chatting. Excellent. Excellent. Priyanka, Christopher. Christopher is from Sweden. Excellent. Thank you for joining us, Christopher. And Subhash is here. Rahul is here. And yes, absolutely. Good. So I'll get started, Masaru-san. Let me tell you, friends. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, why am I doing this? I'm on the board of Asian Ecotourism Network, and the amount of value that I've been getting from the concept of ecotourism is unimaginable. And it's my commitment and my journey to bring what I know and what this entire system of ecotourism has to deliver to you. A lot of us in India have uh, not so the knowledge not in the depth that I want them to have, and to be able to exercise the concepts, the know-how that ecotourism can give you. So this is the goal of this particular webinar. I have been trained by Masaru San and by Professor Alan Wong um, in GSTC, sustainable tourism. And I'm really, really thankful. It has helped me broaden my horizon in ecotourism. Ecotourism is, as we understand in India, is that we shouldn't do plastic waste, we shouldn't be using straws, or we need to look at a few other things. But really speaking, it's only at the surface, and we haven't really gone into the depths of it. So today, Masaru-san will talk about the depths of ecotourism and what we've been doing at AEN so far. So friends, let me start with introducing our guest here, speaker here. Mr. Masaru Takayama is a community-based ecotourism consultant with expertise in energy conservation, green buildings, natural sciences, and experience in the outdoor activities, especially with marine environment. He founded the world's first Eco-Lodge Association, which is called Japan Eco-Lodge Association, which later grew into the Asian Ecotourism Network, the authority in promoting authentic ecotourism in the region supported by the Thai government. Masaru serves a number of key positions in organizations, both home and abroad, pertinent to ecotourism and sustainable tourism. He is the founding chair of AEN and the Japan Alliance of Responsible Travel Agencies. He also serves as the Ecolodge advisor to Asia Pacific Tourism Exchange Center. the auditor and advisor to the Green Destination and Standards of Travel, trainer at the Global Sustainable Tourism Council, member of the Board of Directors of Ecotourism Japan, visiting researchers at the Taisho University. Masaru also served as an evaluator of the Tourism for Tomorrow Awards, the World Legacy Awards, National Geographic, Wild Asia's Responsible Travel Award. At home, he's the founder and owner of Spirit of Japan Travel, a responsible tour company in Kyoto, and a pioneer in converting the legendary 80-year-old Shunyoso, a Japanese national cultural property, into a community-based tourism facility incorporating sustainability. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to post two links of Masaru-san's introduction and his profile in the chat. But before I do that, let me quickly introduce myself as well. I'm Mohit Aggarwal. Professionally, I'm an experiential ecotourism specialist with deep love for nature. I help people travel to some wonderful places in Asia. I'm the founder of Asian Adventures. It's a 26-year-old travel company, and it's also the #1 bird watching company in India. The company is on a large mission to help Asian elephants with their corridors, free the Himalayas of plastic waste, and help small wildlife NGOs, and also save the ancient Himalayan shrines. My interest is to promote ecotourism in its true sense and convert every tourist into an ecotourist. So I'm on a mission too. And this particular platform gives me all the power and all the rocket fuel I need to get there. So over to you, Masaru-san.
Thank you very much. And I should namaste to everyone, especially based in India. And of course, very good afternoon and probably good evening for our time zone. Thank you very much, Mr. Mohit, for a kind introduction. I would like to first extend my cordial appreciation for giving me this opportunity to talk about ecotourism, in particular in Asia and beyond in Pacific. I think I have been taking a great time and opportunity in many parts of the world, but of course, as you know, since the COVID-19 outbreak, we have no choice but to be grounded in a sense. However, being this a part of this network, Asian Ecotourism Network, this has still given us the wings to talk about ecotourism and further network based on ecotourism. So I would like to thank again, but to hope that I can give you a deeper knowledge about ecotourism and what we do as a part of Asian Ecotourism Network. Before we start, I want to talk about ecotourism, of course, but it's not something very new. I know that ecotourism has been used since the late 1980s. Some of the old organizations promoting ecotourism have established in 1990, including the International Ecotourism Society. And when we started, I think we were already talking about sustainability. However, we never used the term sustainable tourism at that time, if I remember right. We were talking about more of the alternative tourism because the main tourism at that time already have indicated some of the negative impacts that were made through tourism, human-induced impacts, in particular in an environment and the community that embraces the tourism in the destinations. So over almost 30 years now, ecotourism has also evolved a lot. When we were together at UN International Year of Ecotourism, which, if you remember, in Quebec, Canada, That was 2002. And rather recently, after 15 years of that year, 2017, the UNWTO has celebrated the year of sustainable tourism for development. So I think ecotourism has always been a star of sustainable tourism, and it has actually gained momentum to mainstream the tourism to be more sustainable, which has coined the term sustainable tourism. So looking at ecotourism, I think the definition of ecotourism I should touch before I start. At this very moment, we have been using the definition of what it has been used and developed by the International Ecotourism Society when I was also there until 2015. Eventually, I was the vice chair of that organization. However, when we reunited as a new entity of Global Ecotourism Network, GEN, we have come to an agreement to revisit the definition of ecotourism. And I'm going to read it out to you what's the newest version of ecotourism is about. Ecotourism is responsible travel to natural areas that conserve the environment, sustain the well-being of the local people, and creates knowledge and understanding through interpretation and education of all involved, visitors, staff, and the visited. So, of course, the definition is just the beginning and must further translate into principles. So, for those who implement participating in and marketing ecotourism activities should abide by the authentic ecotourism principles that we talk about. Those principles will be producing direct financial benefits for conservation. So if you're not giving any way for the conservation of the environment, it's not a part of ecotourism that we see. A lot of the operators want to use ecotourism, but in a way, but they are actually just nature-based ecotourism because it's not creating the conservation effort. The next principle is generate financial benefits for both the local people and the private industry. A lot of the destinations promote ecotourism, but again, if it's not generating benefits for the people that live within, and also for the private industry that promoting ecotourism, it's not really ecotourism that we think. The third principle would be delivering memorable interpretive experiences to visitors that help raise sensitivity to host countries' political, environmental, and social climate. Again, without any guiding. For example, Mr. Mohit's company is an impeccable birding company that I hear. So he must be emphasizing on a very good interpretation on birds, biodiversity, habitats, all the things, raising the sensitivity to that environmental climate, for example. Another principle would be providing positive experiences for both visitors and hosts. The way we do businesses in ecotourism, it can only be one way if you're not careful, because it can be egoistic, or we call it ego-tourism, not ecotourism, you see. Both the visitor and host must be satisfied in the services that we deliver. So both sides must be met, and we have to measure the satisfaction rate of our services, for example. Another principle is designing constructing and operating low impact, especially in facilities. If you're accommodation owners, or if you're a destination manager that manages any lodges or visitor centers, you must be very careful in what you're constructing with. If you are putting too much light into the forest, which could be direct or indirect, some light could escape from the windows of the hotel windows, for example, which could be an obstacle to nocturnal animals, for example. Or if you're emitting too much CO2 by using diesel generators in the forest, which could be, again, be used with more alternatives or renewable sources of energy. Another Ecotrim principle is minimizing physical, social, behavioral, and psychological impacts on fauna and flora, because our industry depends on fauna and flora. Without these assets, we cannot survive as ecotourism. And of course, if it's not sustainable, it's not ecotourism. Another, and the last principle would be probably to recognize the rights and spiritual belief of indigenous and local peoples and work in partnership to create empowerment. A lot of the ecotourism projects are based on communities, not just nature and environment. And a lot of times, we also include spiritual beliefs that are very important. So I understand that in India, we have a lot of sacred sites, or even natural sacred sites, may be important for the humankind entirely, or it could be important for one indigenous tribe, for example. But regardless of that, we need to recognize their rights and respect them, and working in partnership, respecting each other to create empowerment. This is a very important and crucial part of authentic ecotourism principles. So if you're missing one of these principles, we need to work to be authority in ecotourism. I think we need these principles to be exercised. And now I think I can address about what we are doing in order to cover these principles and definition in our region of the world. Now I can go to my slide. And this presentation was made available with the assistance of Priya, which has been helping AEN as part of the Secretariat and Administration. So I thank her for her effort. And I'd like to start again by saying that I'm just talking on behalf of the organization, but we are a big family now with a lot of good friends, and we are very connected by heart. And regardless of the destinations or country or even province, I think we are very much united in the sense that we have the same vector directing to promoting authentic ecotourism. So allow me to talk about what we do. Who are we? So we are just a spoke of the wheel of the global ecotourism network. We have started as this sub-global region of a global ecotourism network based in Asia back in 2016. So we have been running for 5 years now. But apart from us, we also have other global regions. We have North America, we have the Latin American and the Caribbean, we have Europe, we have Africa, and Northern Africa and Middle East. However, I think in my personal sense, that AEN is probably the most active, and because we are already 5 years in running, I can say that a lot of us are already committed to work. And we have now 17 member countries in Asia Pacific region. If you're interested, you can go into each board members that we have. I think we have 28 board members, if I'm correct. And we are now in search of other countries. So we may actually grow into more bigger network in a month or two time, because we are just at the moment of the renewing the term. So our mission is to connect AEN stakeholders for knowledge transfer, consulting, marketing, and business development to achieve sustainability. We want to be the source of knowledge for Asia and Pacific and others. That we want to empower Asia Pacific by using a lot of the experiences and knowledge and close learning that we gain through our board, and connecting the communities, private and public sectors, tourism, hospitality sector, NGOs, and academia. We also work directly with some of the governments, central governments inclusive. So what we want to be is to be the source of knowledge, but also to become the authority in promoting authentic ecotourism. Our issues of concern is tourism threats to indigenous people and cultures, especially in Asia Pacific regions, rich in cultural diversity and indigenous groups. We have beautiful marine and terrestrial degradation. We have marine and terrestrial topographies that we are proud in our region. However, degradation and environmental footprints from mass production and consumptions are of great concern. Exceeding carrying capacity in ecological sensitive areas or over-tourism in some sense is our concern. Greenwashing is another big concern. It has always been the concern since we started ecotourism. A lack of political will to protect environment and cultures from impacts of tourism vis-a-vis revenue. So all these concerns we're trying to tackle with. And the benefits of formulating the network is that you're not alone. And regardless of size, if you're very much committed to promoting ecotourism, we understand you. And we can advocate others through our channel, regardless of the size or the experiences. I think we are able to help you in the sense that we can endorse what you're doing on the ground, and which should be recognized throughout our region or even on a greater scale globally. So our responses from those challenges is to become the conservation advocates, protecting marine and terrestrial ecosystem and biodiversity, promoting community entrepreneurship through empowerment, skills transfer, and capacity building, becoming a platform for indigenous peoples and rural communities, developing ecotourism and protected cultural heritages, standardizing and developing certification programs and products of sustainable tourism in the region, and avoiding greenwashing, which I will be talking about in a moment, fostering political goodwill and partnership for policies and programs on sustainable tourism in the region. Actually, when we started AEN, the first 2 years under the incubation, should I say, we were hosted by the Thai national government called DASTA, the Designated Areas for Sustainable Tourism Destination Development. So they were able to fund the initial seeding money and the staffing. So we are very grateful that we are now standing on our feet. However, without their assistance, we could never be here at this very moment. So what we do is to, of course, benefit you, but we learn a lot through you also. So I guess it's a reciprocal benefiting the mechanism in place. We are developing ecotourism standards. We are providing GSTC training, which Mr. Mohit has also talked about, and we are also engaging through e-learning. Because Asia is a source of ecotourism, I think without doubt, Asia and probably Latin America also are the two prime destinations that spearheading the ecotourism industries, because we are very diverse in flora and fauna, very diverse in the ethnic grounds, languages, you can name it. India alone is an incredible country, for example. So if you're new to our network, I would like to call for your attention for the standards. The reason why we have the standards is that a lot of the accommodations and destinations, maybe tour operators also, they think that they're doing the right thing. And I know they're doing that. But it's like going to a hospital and getting your blood samples tested. We have a lot of markers to those blood testing, for example. Until you get that testing, you would never know the condition of your company or your ecotourism destination or your hotels. We have these markers and indicators that really shows you that where you are. Are you a healthy operator or are you an unhealthy operator? So we developed these standards in compliance with the global sustainable tourism standards, which GSTC sets. So our ecotourism standard is recognized through the authority of Sustainable Tourism Standards, which is the Global Sustainable Tourism Council, which we call GSTC. Asian Ecotourism Standard for Accommodations, or AESA for short, we have finalized it almost 2 years ago. We are now trying to translate that into the Asian minor languages. At this moment, we have 8 regional languages in, of course, Hindi, traditional Chinese, simplified Chinese, Bahasa Malaysia, Khmer, Cambodia, Lao, Vietnamese. I think we will soon see the Thai and also the Japanese versions. So that's something we're looking into. So we have the six themes in sustainability: food and beverage, waste management, recycling, energy and water, green purchasing, and care for environment. These themes are comprising 123 criteria. And we are working with ESEAT, or European Center for Ecological and Agricultural Tourism, which I think they are the leading organization in setting standards for sustainable tourism, but also having the Dutch government help them create the online platform, which allows the accommodation owners to report online. So we are actually using their very same platform with our standards. So once, if you're interested, you'll be given the account, which you'll be making your self-assessment, and 123 criteria which you can report yourself by self-evaluation. But later, on our backside of this online platform, we can come as a coaches or advisors to evaluate what you have claimed is actually correct. So this assessing and evaluation part of the system can be done wholly online. It's the same system that Travel Life uses also if you're into tour operator certification. So that's one standard we have already developed and it's up and running now. Another is we are actually developing the Ecotrim standard for destinations, which is again in compliance with the GSTC standard. So we are hoping to set the standards within a few months and utilizing the same online platform. So the DMOs or destination managers or national parks, protected area managers, they will be able to use our system so that they can self-evaluate first, and later on, we are conceptualizing now at the moment. However, we want to make into a word system so you can get the actual recognition of how well you are protecting the area, how well you're advocating ecotourism. Those things will be in line shortly. So I think it's very interesting to have these standards and help you benchmark. If you're doing the right thing, it's time to show the world that you're the right kind of people. That's a very good reason that we are trying to help create this system. And another, I think working on the standards is a bit difficult to tackle with, especially when you're just starting or you don't have the commitment that yet, because it takes time and effort, but also some financial contribution in order to participate in this benchmarking game, should I say. But I think the easiest and to also essential part to gain the insights of what sustainable tourism is about is to go through the GSTC training. The GSTC Sustainable Tourism Training Program is something that AEN is very good at. I myself is a GSTC authorized trainer, but the way I have made AEN setup is that all our AEN board members go through this training. So we can talk about ecotourism or sustainable tourism as a platform, as a global languages, regardless of where they live or what they do. So this training program is a 3-day program. And if you're interested, please contact AEN. If you have enough number of people, we will be able to deliver this training, of course, at the cost. But I think it's a very good cost that you can invest now in order to gain insights, but also to get ready when the blocking of the borders is lifted. So this program, it will help you gain an in-depth knowledge of the GSTC criteria, the baseline standards for sustainability in travel and tourism, make informed decisions on how to implement sustainability practices for your company or destinations, get ready for developing viable and actionable sustainable tourism policies and practices for your organization, if you're in case of a destination. So most of our AEN board members have gone through the GSTC training, including Mr. Mohit. So he would now advocating with us how well this GSTC is positioned. If you do participate in a future training program, we will be issuing the certificate of completion and, of course, the certificates of sustainable tourism by GSTC, provided that you will go through an online examination provided by GSTC within the months of completion of the training program. So if you want more details, please refer to us, or we have some information made available on our website. Going through the next topic, we also have been engaging through e-learning, especially last year, since the April 22nd, which is the Earth Day. We have been doing a lot of e-learnings. We have the video footages on the YouTubes. We have the links of the this YouTube individual YouTube clips. I think Mr. Mohit will be providing the links later on. So please feel free to get free training sessions if you're interested. And becoming an AEN members, I think we are not only training, but also trying to engage and focus on specific themes and topics. And AEN is trying to position ourselves to declare the position of the topics related to ecotourism, for example. To date, we have 2 declarations, which the details are also on our website. One is the Declaration on Indigenous People. So if your destination or your tour operation or accommodation areas that you operate, if you're dealing with any indigenous people, which I would assume in India would be the case, mostly, very welcome to go through our declaration. We made this is assistance and in cooperation with the Taiwan Ecotrim Association, which I think they're celebrating the 20th anniversary this year. So congratulate TEA for that. And last year, 2020 in January, I think it was the first week. So we were not exposed with COVID, but right before the outbreak, we were in China for our semi-annual general meeting invited by the Chinese government. So we were in near Chengdu, namely Xiling Snow Mountain, a national park, where we have come to an agreement to declare climate change adaptation and redefining ecotourism seasonality. So the details again are made available on our website. Then you can see our positions on these topics. And for upcoming events, if you like us, just hearing from what I'm trying to tell, what we have been doing, I will cordially invite you to our upcoming events. And we, cross our fingers, but next year, 2022, actually marks the 20th anniversary since the International Ecotourism, Year of Ecotourism, which I briefly talked about at the outset, that the 2002 Quebec was the International Year of Ecotourism. So we are gearing up for 2022 February. So if you can pencil in or electrically pencil in February 11th onward, we will be organizing the International Ecotourism Travel Month, the very first of its kind in the world. And this is supported by the Philippine government. So it has been postponed, of course, with the COVID, but we are now seeing that this will be the iconic event for us. And the first 2 days or the 3 days that we will be having is we will be having the actual booth at the International School of Sustainable Tourism, which is the partner of AEN, or Philippine satellite office of the AEN is ISST, the School of Sustainable Tourism. And we will be having a booth on ecotourism. So a lot of the Philippine representation will be expected there. But however, since we're calling this international, we want to have at least about 17 countries that we are representing through AEN. And of course, we are calling for other sub-global region of the networks to be present. So I think it's going to be a fun travel mart talking about ecotourism. So if you are in ecotourism, and if you have the budget to do it, I would like to see you there in person. But also, if it doesn't go as a physical event, we may have to go all online. But again, we'll be gearing up for that too. Anyways, so the first part will be the travel mart, and the part 2 will be the Ecotourism Forum and Workshop. So Travel Mart is something that we are celebrating industry itself. But the forum and the workshop is where you will gain more knowledge, deeper understanding about ecotourism, how people are actually making the good practices on the ground, which you can benefit. But it's also a place where if you are a practitioner and you think you're doing really well, then I think your pitch can resonate well also. So I would urge you to apply to become a speaker. We will have some slots available, so do consult with us if you are willing to participate in the forum part in next year, February. So we are very excited about this. And this part of this IETM, the Ecotourism Travel Mart, we are designing the interactive online Ecotourism Forum series. And the series would include the ecotourism, biodiversity, wildlife conservation, social culture dimension, ecotourism, you name it. It's all on the screen right in front of you. We are focusing on training and education. We're trying to absorb as much as possible that are essential to running ecotourism as the authentic, with the authenticity, should I say. So there's also on YouTube, which the entire AN board member has contributed in making this 12-minute clip. If you have the time, please visit us so you can see where we are. And it really shows the unity of AN board. It goes from India to Mongolia to Laos to Japan. It's interesting just to look at, this clip, because we are all promoting under one umbrella. At the moment, we face a lot of challenges in Asia still, and that means that we have to work more. But I would like to underline that, including myself, the entire board members is working pro bono, because we commit that we can change a world, how we run ecotourism, to be a better tool to conserve but also to empower the community. So we can always, gain more acceleration in promoting ecotourism by satisfying these challenges. We would, of course, need a stronger public and private partnership. We need to make all types of tourism more sustainable, not just ecotourism. So, and of course, greenwashing, false claims is a big one. Lack of reliable information. We would need on-the-ground exchange of experience. We have a lot of unclear ecotourism legal information that are not made available in English. So that's why we have this every country board members to translate the language in the language that we understand. And of course, human and financial resources is the one that we would always welcome. So now that I've been talking the last 30, 40 minutes now, I would like to welcome you if you're interested in AEN. because we are all agents. We understand what we do, where we live, and we will probably live in our countries forever. We don't have any board members that are not from that countries. So I think, with the passion that you live with and the proudness that you live in your country, all the cultures and religions and nature that you love, it has to be retained there in your countries. And every part we can play, every part we can share, so that we can stay proud of what we have. So AEN is home to, the family of ecotourism fraternity, I should say. We have a number of national ecotourism associations and other not-for-profit organizations that are practicing ecotourism in a number of countries and regions. And I would like to urge you to see and join AEN website first. If you click on the top right, if I am correct, you can become a free web member if you register yourself through our system. It's entirely free. We have some archives, and we have some bulletin boards. If you have some question on ecotourism, you can write, and we can answer to your questions. And if you do become a paid member, of course, we will be talking with you more deeply. We want to welcome you, maybe talking on the newsletters. And when we do meet physically, of course, we can talk a lot about ecotourism. So I want to conclude by saying I would like to see you, regardless of where you are, if you are promoting ecotourism. I think there's a lot of rooms to improve, even if you're perfect. Even for me, I learn every day something new by talking to Mohit or talking to Priya and talking to our administration staff, talking to anyone that is out there in our region. Because we believe in one thing. We believe that the common goal is already set. It's how we navigate through our seas of ecotourism. So we have the cruise and we have the ship that's sailing. So please join us, and I'd like to see you and talk to you more in depth and learn about you. Thank you for your kind attention. And now I'd like to get back to Mr. Mohit for further topics you may have. Thank you
very much. Thank you very much, Masaru-san. This was absolutely engaging, and it was an eye-opener for a whole lot of people who are here. And I'm so happy that you could make time. I just want to tell people to go, deeper into GSTC and understand what it is, and go through Asian Ecotourism website. I will be posting the links just before we end, which will have a few videos of AEN training. It will have one video of IETM, and it will also have some links where they can just go ahead and join the AEN. I'll just start with this poll. In the meantime, I want you to look at some of the questions that people are asking, Masaru-san.
Mm-hmm.
In the chat pod. It's
okay.
So Yoga Brata says, does the community-based tourism have to be owned by the community to be ecotourism in real sense, or as per the standards? As per the standards, does it have to be community-owned, or can it be privately owned? I guess this is what he's trying to ask.
Well, I would say in Asia, most of the cases that I've learned is community-based tourism, which are normally owned by the community. But of course, there are other cases where very passionate Europeans, for example, start settling in one country and hugely contribute in advocating ecotourism. That's another case. And then those people are actually who would end up winning a lot of awards, but also even the community-based tourism has to be sustainable. Any form of tourism can be sustainable. I think mainstream, tourism also must be sustainable. So in real term, I should say, if you take a look at the standards, that would also help you position yourself where you are. And as for GSTC standards, for destinations people, there are 38 criteria, whereas for industry, meaning the accommodation and the tour operators, there are, I think it's 40 or 41 criteria that are considered minimum indicators that you need to be working on. So those will be the place that you should be looking at first.
Excellent. We have another question from Christopher Doyle. When the time is right during today's program, does AN have a robust digital community platform for resources, advocacy, case studies, training and education, B2B networking, etc., to meet its aims? And if yes, is it custom built or off the shelf? Thank you. That's what he's asking.
Okay. Well, of course, we have limited resources. Of course, we are very blessed with the people, I should say. But the digital transformation, I think we could use more of those. And having India, for example, I think it really helps that accelerate that chance. But a lot of the training and the education seminar part will be set by the SAT platform, for example. But we are also trying to invest in our own platform to cater ourselves. So I should say half and half at the moment. Half custom built, half off the shelf. So of course, Chris, we can use your expertise if you're able to help us. That would be great. Just write me. Thanks for joining us tonight.
So that's wonderful. I think I am going to take this forward at a deeper level with the Indian travel community, travel fraternity, and I want people to appreciate the fact that this particular way of functioning through ecotourism is going to help them, preempt any sort of disaster that they can cause or anybody else can cause in the, in tourism. For example, you might be a do-gooder, but the point is you don't know the system, and you'll end up doing something which you think is ecotourism, but it might just be disastrous because it could be just a lopsided approach. So to look at the holistic approach is the most important part that we in India today need when it comes to community tourism, rural tourism, ecotourism in every sense. So,
yeah, and if I may add, is it okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I would suggest maybe I can provide you a link under the Global Ecotourism Network website, which I'm also on the executive committee of that one. But we have a page that says not all tourism in nature is ecotourism. I think we need to go over that, because a lot of people in Asia in particular, if you're nature-based, you think it's ecotourism. It's not really true. So that is the beginning of the greenwashing. And that's why we are trying to set the standards. And that's why we are working around with our scheme. But, staying in the eco-lodge or eco-resort is not ecotourism. Hunting or any form of captivity with the wildlife, it's not ecotourism. If you're chasing dolphins and elephants, and of course, it's not ecotourism. So a lot of the things that we should be actually talking about. So I think this, opportunity is very good. I can be very converted easily. Now that Mr. Mohit has provided us this great opportunity that AN will, I can declare that our board members would also try to use this platform. They can talk about the good practices. It's already been done. which we could share with the wider community of the world, and especially that would benefit not only AEN, but of course, the people who live in Asia and beyond. So that's my next plan.
Absolutely. And Priya has already shared the link in the chat. So, friends, whoever is interested can open that in another tab. Don't spend time looking at it now, but just keep it open so that, once we are through with this webinar, you'd be able to see all those links. In fact, I'm going to give you many such links right now in the chat, which you can copy from the chat and keep them there. Anyway, the good part of this particular webinar is that all those people who registered but could not attend, and all those people who registered and are here, will get the replay link of this webinar. So you can refer to whatever Masaru-san's talked about in detail over a period of time and use this information. Because sometimes when we are using our emotions to talk about the most logical things, they come into play only with the fuel of emotions. Without that fuel, they just become, things to do. There is so I think it's important to keep these webinars in your heart and in your mind and in your desk all the time, and refer to them as the guiding source as we go along. And ecotourism is all about you and I and our community and the people and the surroundings and the people where we headed to. So friends, thank you for being here today. It was absolutely wonderful. If anybody has any other question, we have a couple of minutes. Masaru-san might want to answer those if you've got any questions. If you don't, then we say goodbye, Shabak khair, good night to you. Masaru-san, what time is it in Japan right now?
It's 7:30 p.m. for us, and I can use my Kingfisher beer probably.
Excellent. Yes, Kingfisher. I'll send you the stock as soon as the
That's
flight
great.
Yes. We are also going to be conducting more webinars for AEN and for other people. Fareen has just shared a link which says Linktree. It says webinars by Mohit Econator. The next one that we're going to come up will be to tackle the Himalayan waste, because that's up our alley. That's one of our life goals. And Soumya Prasad from Nature Science Initiative will be talking about it. You will soon get an email from us. And Masaru-san, another request, please. If all of us within AEN can see how we can bring more value to our audience and grow this in India, along with increasing the popularity of AEN and the work that they're doing, they will have a lot of takeaways from there in the future. Great. Thank you, friends. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Yeah.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody.
Thank
Have
you.
a good weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.